What's going on YouTube? Ferocity here. Hope you guys are doing well. Skill-based matchmaking has been a highly debated topic within the Call of Duty community for the last several years. Some people see its benefits, while others will argue that it's the worst thing to ever happen to the franchise. I personally feel that they need to move away from it, or at least open up the parameters a little bit more. I know that whenever I say this, people will argue that that white paper that came out last year will show that it causes less players to stick around. And I think that utilizing a 2-week test versus a 4-year parameter is an extremely flawed way to look at anything. And even then, I would argue that that white paper that came out last year was an extremely flawed test to begin with. But I won't dive into that. Instead, what I want to dive into is this opinion that I found over on the Black Ops 6 subreddit talking about if SBMM were to be removed. And I ask you this. After hearing this, does this improve the overall health of the game? Would you be more interested in playing something like this or maintaining the same current experience that you have? So let's dive in. If skill-based matchmaking was removed from Call of Duty, these would be the benefits. Faster matchmaking, better connection, quitters will have their spots filled faster, more variety in types of players you encounter, more variety in your performance, which makes the experience less stale, lower skill friends you party up with no longer will be stomped, more variety in weapon use, matches are less fatiguing so players spend more time on game. So I think right away, if they were to remove skill-based matchmaking, the first benefit we'd see is better connection. Because I'll argue until I'm blue in the face that skill-based matchmaking reduces your connectivity to the game. It increases your ping, which increases the chaos and randomness that Call of Duty has. And that's a problem. And it also slows down your matchmaking because they're trying to put you in the perfect lobby every time. Now, when it comes to the variety of players you'll encounter and the variety of weapons that you'll see, yeah, I agree with that as well. I think variety is the spice of life. And honestly, the lack of variety in Call of Duty is extremely noticeable, especially here in Black Ops 6. Every single match feels pretty much a mirror of the last one you played. It just really depends on which side of the algorithm you're on. Are the variables going to suppress you or are they going to impress you? That's essentially what it comes down to. There's nothing to be learned. Kill cams used to be a way to learn from your mistakes, but now it just showcases the mistakes of the game, the flaws of the game even more. How bad the connection might be, how off the hit detection is, or the fact that you can't learn anything because there was nothing you could do. That was a predetermined gunfight you were going to lose in the first place. So it's really fascinating to see how far Call of Duty has shifted away from allowing the player to control their engagements, to control their outcomes. And part of this is because the connection is worse. The other part of this is because Call of Duty wants to remove that power from the player and give it to their algorithms instead. There's also going to be more variety in weapon use, and I agree with that full-heartedly. Now, in the age of TikTok and Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts, yeah, people are always going to create the best loadouts, but maybe the game could have a little bit more of a fun loadout feel instead, and have people saying, hey, try this out in your next game. It's a good meme build. But nobody wants to use meme builds in 2024 because there's no benefit to it. There's going to be zero fun using a meme build, where in the past, utilizing meme builds were enjoyable. Because you might do well, you might do poorly, but you never know. It's really up to the lobby gods to find out what's going to happen. And of course, what's not mentioned on this list is persistent lobbies, and that's woefully missing from Call of Duty. It's something that really did make that experience better, and they've just hollowed it out for no benefit. At least it doesn't feel like there's a benefit. I don't know who it serves to continuously force me back into matchmaking every single time I finish a match. It just sucks. And the last element that I want to touch on that I think is the most important one that often gets overlooked in the skill-based matchmaking debate is partying up with your friends. The point on lower skill friends you party up with will no longer be stomped is so fair, because so much of the skill-based matchmaking system right now with your friends is all about trying to perfect the algorithm on who is going to matchmake for us. But now with that system fundamentally changing too, so that players can't stomp other players, it really is a no-sum game for anybody who is worse than their friends or better than their friends. Like, unless you're all around the same skill level, you're probably not going to play together because someone's going to have a bad time as a result. And that's no fun for anybody. In a system that's supposed to prop up those who are doing poorly, it doesn't really seem to help them if they have friends. So I'd like to see them try to interject more of this social element into Call of Duty again. But of course, they'll probably just ban them for saying something mean that their operator also said, right? Call of Duty is so stupid right now. It really is. I don't think that they'll ever remove skill-based matchmaking, but they could definitely loosen the restrictions on it. And yeah, you might see a dip over a 2-week span, but what you could see is an increased retention with the players that have stuck around after that. Because it's not just all about one test one time. It should be about trying to enhance this system so it benefits everybody. And one of the things that Call of Duty doesn't promote anymore is getting better and seeing yourself improve in real time. That reward of getting better is completely and utterly gone because skill-based matchmaking has completely ruined it. It's gutted that from the experience because the game does not want you to get better. If you do get better, it's going to punish you. So what have players done with skill-based matchmaking? What are they doing? They're finding ways to skirt the system, which is hurting lower skilled players as a result. 2-boxing, VPNing, whatever it is, even reverse boosting. Whatever it takes just to try to get a semblance of an organic, fun experience again. But they'll gut that from you as well. Because the second you do better in those lobbies, you get put in the harder ones again. And it's just a vicious cycle that feels extremely anti-player. I'm not saying it's going to be removed completely, but it can definitely be altered to improve the experience of everybody involved. I don't want the 0.3 KD players to have to go against the scumps of the world. That's not going to be fun for anyone. What I'd like to see instead is those that are like me not have to play against every single person like me and leaving it up to all of the variables of the game to see if I'm going to have somewhat of an enjoyable time or not. The game feels like a complete out of control mess, and part of that reason is because skill-based matchmaking ruins your connection. It ruins your experience. I don't want easier lobbies. I want more variety in my lobbies. Something that I've been experiencing over on XDefiant, because that game does not have skill-based matchmaking. And as a result, it's more fun. Because yeah, you're going to get players who are really, really good, that are better than you. And you can just sit there and say, wow, I got outplayed. Which I can't say very often in Call of Duty anymore because I don't understand what's happening half the time because nothing works as intended because the game is broken at its core. And skill-based matchmaking is just one of those elements that currently break this game. So really, if I'm going to take anything away from this tweet, is that I would love to see Call of Duty try it. Try it for a year. Try it with whatever you're doing in 2025. Let's see if it works out. Stick with it for a few months. See if it improves player retention, because whatever you're doing right now is not improving player retention. Because as per Steam charts, you've lost 32% of players over the last 30 days. I don't think that's something you should be proud of. You should be working to rectify that number and make sure that it doesn't continue to happen over the next few months. But of course, will Call of Duty learn anything from this? No. They'll blame the community for it because they'll never take the blame themselves. Anyways, that's kind of my thoughts on this. I would love to see something happen with the matchmaking that just makes it feel better for everybody involved, but we'll have to just wait and see. Anyways, I'd love to hear your thoughts about it down below in the comment section. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.